Are there some remedy to resolve this problem? Because I remember in one of your responses a few moments ago, you talked about the fact where you were making reference to the case that happened in Nigeria, the woman that gave birth after that, she had issue because people didn't understand it, then it led to a major problem. Then you said if it had been noticed on time, it could have been resolved, which means that there are solutions sometime, no? Please share with us what are the remedies to some of these problems.
Well, I think it's again a certain level of awareness. One, self-awareness. The person themselves have to have a level of awareness, self-awareness themselves, understanding that what's going on with them at the moment, there's something not right. You know, you might be able to have that self-awareness yourself. So you can say, okay, um, I'm feeling really sad at the moment. And sadness is part of, human emotions that, like anger and all of that, which are normal and healthy. But if it continues unabated and interferes with your daily living, or you find that you can't do, you're finding it difficult to get up in the morning, you finding it, like I said, the same things that I mentioned before. Your eating is being interrupted. You're not sleeping well. If it happens after maybe a bereavement or you're grieving, again, those are normal responses and are healthy when you're going through a grieving period. The stages of grief. Is if you get stuck in one of those periods, like there's the anger, there's the denial, there's all of that. If you get stuck in one of those stages and it goes on for a prolonged period of time, then something else is going on there. So that's with loss, bereavement. But then as generally on a daily basis, we may go through a period where I say, I'm feeling we use the word depressed. I'm feeling depressed. It may just mean you're feeling sad. And after a day or two, you have a good laugh with a friend, you find some form of relaxation, then you bounce back. But when you don't bounce back, when you find that it's going on for a long period, then one, if you have enough self-awareness yourself, that's when you say you talk to your partner, or you talk to a friend, or you talk to if you have access to healthcare professionals. If you're in the diaspora, hopefully you have more easier access to mental health care. You have to be able to step up yourself, and seek help, just to be able to, sometimes, like I said, you can book in for consultation or book in for a counseling session, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Just talking about it, you'll be amazed how one or two sessions of talking about it just immediately brings the whole thing down. You've got it out of your system, or you identify something that you hadn't thought about before. And that has come from talking to a professional. They've helped you examine something that you might not have considered before, that you can then, work on. Self-care is also important. Like I said, I have a very heavy schedule from Monday to Friday. I only have one day off, and that day off is filled with all kinds of other things that I pack into it. But I also know when I've got to my limit, or when something is feeling, a little bit difficult emotionally or psychologically. I like I said, I love music. Music is one of my greatest sources of therapy. I turn on music and it soothes me. I have a very active relationship with my daughters. They are my tonic. I tell them all the time. Sometimes I'll call them. I'll say, "Mama is struggling." Or they say, "What's going on?" I say, "I'm feeling stressed. Can you come over this weekend?" In fact, it's Mother's Day on this Sunday. I'm so excited they're coming over. you know, so I know the things that my go-to things. I have one or two girlfriends that I call and I say, "Girl, I'm having a rough time." And she said, okay, let's go for a meal. We go and we laugh like babies. And then I get back. So I know myself, and I know I'm working around a lot of trauma, a lot of depression. My work is around emotional difficulties. So I take a lot of that in unconsciously by virtue of the work that I do. So at sometimes my own issues or what's going on with me may meet up with a lot of the stuff. I may be triggered by some of the work I'm doing. But because I understand myself, I know the triggers. I know those moments where I'm like, okay, I need to take a day off. I need to just shut it all down. And sometimes it means I have to say no to certain things that ordinarily I wouldn't want to say no to. But that's self-care, because I won't be able to do the work I'm doing. And I have a family, I have a life, I want to live long. So the things that we have to do to keep ourselves well, and you have to learn what you need. I love burning oils, all these, my senses, those type of things, keep me, they keep my stress level low. So I know the things that I do that help me deal with my stress, because we're living in a stress-filled world at the moment. You have to know what you need to do for you, first and foremost. And then, your family, talk to your family. Your family need to also understand for each other, and that sometimes, people are afraid to talk. That's another thing I found. Couples are afraid to talk to each other, about how they're feeling. And we have to be able to do that. Otherwise, we will have problems. We'll have problems. And the children, also, children don't know how to talk about how they're feeling. They're afraid to. We have to pay more attention as a family unit to what's going on to members of the family. Not the physical, the mental health, because that's ignored. People don't even deal with that. It's the physical thing. If you have a problem physically, or you have stomach ache, or this or that, but there are other parts that, are being neglected, and it's to our peril, because the world we're living in now is traumatized. We're living in a traumatized world. There's a new war that has started in Europe. We don't know how that's going to impact where that we're going with that. So there are wars everywhere. So the world is traumatized, put it like that. And we're all part of the world.
All right. The world is traumatized. All right. So sorry about that one, but that is the reality of the day, If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.